I think I.
You too, man.
I appreciate it. There we go. I wonder if I did this to public. I'm gonna wait until I see somebody pop in here. I don't know yet.
I don't know.
All right, cool. First one in the chat. I just want to make sure I did it to public. So our second Facebook Live. The first time I did it to only people that were subscribers. So here we are. So we're gonna jump in here about 20 minutes. Me, Chelsea, sitting in the room. Hello.
Hello.
See if we can answer some questions without giving out too much because we still are doing 2 more episodes. So, hey, first off, a huge thank you to everyone. Like literally when we came forward with this, we really didn't anticipate anyone really having our back. I mean, that's the honest truth.
Well, yeah, we thought we were just gonna be walking into a losing battle. Like
Yeah.
we thought we were like, hey, we're gonna speak out. We're just gonna tell the truth, and we're about to get fucked.
Yeah. That's what I anticipated. Honestly, I just wanted to quit and leave. And then when he took the internet and just went after my wife, my kids started experiencing bullying at school because everybody knew who their dad was because they bragged about it. And then when people were coming by our house and getting into our mailbox, which I caught on surveillance, and all the harassing phone calls, I mean, there just came a point where I was like, okay, enough is enough. I'm not going to let this guy bully me. What you're seeing on the internet right now, like, I enjoy having fun, but trolling someone isn't what I do. I mean, go look previously when it comes to artists and like entertainment. Now, my friends and stuff, yeah, we all joke around with each other, but this is meant just for him. That's because I spent 9 months learning his game. I end up mastering his game, and in my opinion, we are beating him at his own game. All right, so here we go. Let's see some. The mailbox dealings are federal. Yes, stay tuned to the next episode, and we're going to clear all that up with the second episode. So let me explain the second episode. Because as I watched the second episode live, I was like, shit, we probably shouldn't have done that, that, and that. That day, I got hit with a lawsuit allegedly and an order of protection allegedly. The order of protection, or what's the other? Was it restraining order? Restraining order, order of protection, if I'm getting one of those wrong.
So, allegedly.
Yeah, this is allegedly we have. We can't talk about it, but
So.
yeah, okay, I'll let her do that, and I'll finish where I lose my thought.
Damn, go ahead.
So what I was saying is I got hit that day, and I knew that even though it got denied once the judge signed that paperwork, it was going to silence me, meaning that if I still went out there and I still talked about it, then I could look at potential criminal things like going to jail. I'm not going away from my family. I will protect my family with my life, but...
So allegedly, there was a temporary restraining order that was filed for and was denied. Then allegedly, the day that the papers were allegedly served,
I just want to show him the official seal, so no one thinks that I'm just fucking making it up.
well, there's
Yeah, he signed off on it. I literally had to go through...
So what had happened that day was there was a second emergency motion for temporary restraining order allegedly filed, which means that it hadn't gone through the court yet, and at any point in time a judge could sign off on it and find reason, and we wouldn't have been able to say anything.
Let me get rid of this one dude because he's just trying. It's probably Ryan. Goodbye, she gone. Trying to clear up all the messages so no one can comment. So what's really crazy is there's been a few profiles on YouTube made, like Christ is King, Lord is Lord, who are just doing this hate campaign on us and posting videos of us with crazy, creepy AI. I'm real close. We are real close. My team is real close to figuring who that is, and I'm pretty sure it's someone in that little circle. And there's only a few people in that circle, and I cannot wait to show you guys that because we're going to get those records directly from YouTube and other formats. So, yeah, so if I see, here's the thing. This is what I encourage all artists I work with, and I'm utilizing every tool that I've trained a lot of artists to use. If I see someone saying something crazy, I'm just going to block you, hide you from the channel, and just go about my business. You know, that's it is what it is. All right, so let's take some questions. Can you talk about the drugs? All right, so I'm going to address a lot of that in the next episode. what you have to understand is that I actually started. I saw this coming along for a long time because he kept trying to set me up. I was very adamant about getting him clean. And I really feel we did for a few weeks, like you saw the video of him acknowledging that, and things had really turned around. But whenever he went fully back to it, I became the enemy. He hated the fact that I was a constant source of saying, "Hey, let's do the right thing. Let's do the right thing." So, but what I was trying to say is, I knew last year things were getting bad. I was out of state, and he was FaceTiming me, and said I was at his house planting things in his house, allegedly, in my opinion. So I saw this coming, so I had to do the necessary measures to protect myself, and I started cooperating. Yes, you'll find out later on, and I am going to release the polygraph results. The reason I haven't yet is because there are still questions that haven't been answered. If I were to release them now, it would give away the rest of our series. And by doing the series, what we're also trying to show you guys is our creativity, and imagine what we could have done and accomplished if Ryan just would have done something creative instead of investigate all day, every day. So I hope by the end of this, you'll say, okay, well, maybe Chad did write some of the songs he not get credit for, because he literally went to a studio and made a song in an hour and a half with a friend, and played the instruments on with the help of a friend. So I'm doing these things as a way of showing you our creativity level. And most of my good ideas, if not all of them, come directly from Chelsea. So if you guys sometimes are seeing something and you like it, it's probably because my wife had her hand in it. And that's been the case for our relationship. That's why we work so well together, because we're both creatives. I'm surrounded by a really awesome creative group right now. I do have Trevor. Trevor's our tech guy, but he's also helping out doing camera stuff. And
So what is the song you wrote for him?
I wrote a song for the next segment. It'll make sense. It's called "Fuck White Supremacy," and I'm going to use about
No, like for Ryan.
What's
Like
that?
what did you have your hand in
Rolling
doing?
Stone. Rolling Stone was probably the biggest one. When we wrote that song in the studio that day, my buddy Michael from Kentucky, I brought him down to play the instrument on it because he's a way better guitar player than I am. I'm not a great guitar player, but I can write songs. I have wrote a ton. Nash Vegas is another one that I wrote when I was like 15 years old, the instrumentation for. I was also promised stuff on, never happened. I was the guy who made the Clay Walker thing happen. I was the guy who made the Lil Boosie thing happen. I was the guy that made the No Jumper thing happen. I worked really hard for this dude. I promoted him every way I could. I'm not even into country rap. Like, if you hang out with me, the chances of hearing a country rap song are slim to zero. Like, I respect it. I can hear music and say, hey, I see why people like this. And I think because I brought that kind of attitude when I moved to Nashville, that's why we were so good with it, because we have worked with just about everybody. But we got out of entertainment. We've been focused on film, and we do a lot of stuff in film. And so Ryan's not the only artist or celebrity. He thinks he's like the biggest thing that anybody's ever worked with.
Can we talk about the neck tattoo?
Yeah. Okay. So this is a tattoo that he commented on all the time. I got this in my early 20s when I decided to be a full-time musician. At the time where I was literally the only guy in my town that had a throat tattoo. It was like my commitment to music, which was at the time. Now looking back, was probably a bad idea because it did keep me from a lot of jobs. But he would always comment on that. So when I had gone for the team and I saw that he had got almost the exact same font, exact same placement, it just said Creeker, I was like, this dude right here, like a lot of things he said over the years is to literally from what he says to the way he walks, to the way, just go look at him now. I saw him do like a story thing someone sent me, and he's imitating Cashville's voice. So it's whoever's around.
I've never seen another tattoo in the same font as yours until he got his. Like,
yeah. So what does Ryan's sleep schedule look like? None. Here's the deal: is I couldn't compete with the dude when I was living in Kentucky and driving down here, because I didn't get officially asked to be his manager until close to where that Empire Record label meeting was, the one where we were out to get him. As a plot of assassination by Nashville. Which is not the case. When I came back to work for Ryan, I know all the other guys, I've worked with most of them, but when I came back to work for Ryan, I had to block all of them, and I had to focus totally on him. And he really encouraged me to do that. He would go and look and be like, why are you still following this person? You know, that stuff. So when I first came back around, I tried to mend some bridges. I called some of the ex-band members. I'm not going to call them out unless they pop on here and say I can. I called some artists. I was trying to repair things, but we never got there. We never, because it would turn into this thing. And then he thought I was working with him to secretly ruin things. And honestly, I was just trying to do the right fucking thing, you know? I really think he brought me back because of my record. If you notice, because I do have felonies from when I was in my early 20s, because I was a fucking hooligan. I was. I'm not going to dispute that. I was a different person. You know, I was mean to people. I cheated on people that I was with. I was in a band, so I lived on the road. I wasn't a great person, but over the last 20 years, and definitely since I met my wife, like I've literally made a big effort to change who I am. And Ryan knew that I was going through the process to have everything expunged, pardoned, and paroled. Was supposed to write me a letter, but for his narrative, he throws my shit out online. And then now he's saying that I never was in the military, and he wants to see my DD-214. First off, I ain't ever showed you my DD-214. Second off, matter of fact, where's my wallet? I got a VA card. But regardless, I was in the military. I didn't do anything. You know, I went in as infantry, and I graduated infantry school. But then I sat there and helped train other officers. I became really lazy. I was doing ranges and stuff like that, not what I went in and signed up for. So nothing remarkable about my military career. I don't talk about it a whole lot. I do have VA benefits, but there's nothing remarkable there. And honestly, the military wasn't for me. I was a punk rocker who was always like, fuck you to people telling me what to do. So when I got in the military, I was like, shit, you know what? This shit is not for me, you know? So, but he tried to make out like I was claiming to be airborne ranger and all this. And I never did that, man. I would never disrespect my friends that are that in that kind of way. And people that know me know that. All right, let's take another one. We got about 20 minutes, guys, and I got to get some rest. We've been working our ass off.
I want you to explain, because like that Airbnb video.
Oh my God.
Like I want you to make it clear how that happened, how like that was so freaking.
All right, let me bring you in a little bit closer right here. I want you to see my eyeballs because there's flare on my, you know, maybe not. I've got tan lines. All right, so here's the deal with the fucking Airbnb, dog. And many a text on this. When I first came back, the first thing I did is wanted to see how things were looking. So I set up appointments with whether it be distro, the accountant or whatever. So when I went in there and I saw where his monthly budget was, I was like, holy shit, I better jump in here and fix this or none of us going to be working in a year from now. So one thing he was spending a lot of money on was hotels. Well, not only was the hotel we used 35 minutes from his new place, but it was a lot of money, several $1,000s a month on hotels. Well, I found a rental that is also an Airbnb. It's a whole house. They have sections that are Airbnb. I talked the guy into a rental situation where we were paying $1,200 a month. We had 2 rooms in there. And right off the rip, we had 2 guys staying there for a couple. It paid for itself for months in the first little bit of time. His accountant was paying for it. Everything that his accountant paid for, Ryan had to approve via text message, phone call, some way thing. That was how I set it up when I first came in, just because of how things looked with the previous manager. So he absolutely knew about it. Now where was I when I got the call? I was here at the house. So the video he showed you guys where he's talking about the tracker, and I'm saying, call the cops. Because that was my response every time he called me at 3 a.m. Because it'd be like, someone broke in my house and planted a gun under my pillow. I'm like, call the cops. You know, that was what I did. I said, what the fuck am I going to do about it? You know? So when he called me about Airbnb or the rental, he went over there, and there was an engineer staying that works with Ryan a lot. You guys probably know, but I'm not going to call him out. He was staying there. He had some guys go there and search the car that he let this guy borrow over there. They found a tracker, and here's the deal. It was probably Ryan's tracker he put in his car to track everybody, like he did that. I mean, it's on the polygraph. He put trackers in all the vehicles, would insist you would take them. Hey, take my Trackhawk, you know, take this or take that. No, I'm good in my Prius. Nah, man, I really want you to drive something nice. And it wasn't because he was doing a nice thing. It came abundantly clear that we were all being tracked and recorded, you know, so he knew about the rental. The accountant paid for it. If I'd done anything illegal, don't you think I'd be sitting in a jail cell somewhere? You know, because and here's the thing, anyone could go file a report on someone and press charges, but then when you go to court, you got to prove it. So if he fucks up and tries to press some fake charges on me now with the team that I have, and I have a really good team now, and I'm so thankful for that. And if it wasn't for you guys sharing it, man, we'd be alone out here. And we were prepared to lose everything for this. We had to sit down and have a conversation like, all right, let's be honest, it's him. He's going to try and take everything back from us. Even though he never paid me percentage on royalties, even though I started a multi-million-dollar company with him and built it up, and he kicked us to the side. And for 2 years, we didn't say anything. We didn't talk on it. We didn't do anything, but he didn't come at us on the internet either. You know, so, but I already knew he's going to try to take all of our shit back. So we sat down and said, okay, fuck this. We're not going to let this dude do this to us, and we're going to fight back. And that's what we did. And I didn't anticipate the outpouring of you guys. I didn't anticipate positive things happen. I didn't think I would start getting calls from artists like saying, hey, man, I would love to work with you again. Will you work with me? I didn't expect the dream legal team scenario to happen, but it all happened. And I'm very thankful. And that's because of you guys. Because without people sharing this and making this a big deal, we'd have been fucked. But I'm okay with being poor. Most of the best times of my life were spent with my wife in a fucking van touring across the country, making $30 a day and spending 25 on cigarettes and beer and figuring out how you're going to eat on $5. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, the things that matter the most in life are your family. And I have 4 kids that love and adore me, and I love and adore them. And that's all that matters to me. So I don't care. Come at me with what you got, dude.
So a couple comments about
Sorry.
like where you were on for the Justin Adams era.
Yes.
I didn't know you'd been there for so long.
Okay. Yeah, here's the deal.
So here, like,
Yeah.
where do we start with this?
Here's where we start. Let me tell you why I was in the shadows all the time, because now I know it to be abundantly clear, and it's my gut feeling, it's my heart, but it's also my opinion, allegedly. I think he intentionally kept us in the shadows. I think he did that because he knew how creative we were, and we helped do so many great things for him. His biggest fear was probably to lose us. So whenever he did let us go because he could no longer afford us, and the thing is, if he would have came and told me, hey, I can't afford your worth, I would have been like, I'm not going anywhere. Matter of fact, when they let me go my wife first, and I stuck around, I didn't get paid for 3 months. I worked for free before I was let go.
And we tried to bring stuff to the table.
I tried to bring opportunities to the table.
We literally told them, like, hey, we'll eat what we kill. Like, we're here for you. Let's keep rolling with it.
I was like, I can make my money. If I can get you opportunities and you carve me out, my little 5 or 10%, I can still eat. But they didn't want to do that. Not only did they let us go, but they went out and told promoters. They told friends of mine. Everybody that we had worked with in country rap ghosted us for 2 years, with the exception of like 3 or 4 people, because they took Ryan's side. And I understand that. I get it. I'm not mad at them. But they also have to understand that whenever I went back, when I initially went back, things were never this bad when we left. When I got back, it was a whole different thing. I saw immediately, oh, this is going to be hard. You know, and then literally, like when I say 22 days later, that was the first time he tried to set me up. And that was me trying to help a past team member and mend a bridge, and he fucking burned it to the ground. We've been around since the second show. We were there right in the beginning when Cashville started. He was only around for like a year. He acts like he's been around for 25 years, but I think maybe a year and a half. We were there all the way up until 2022 or 2023. Yeah. And then we were pushed out. Brandon was still called. I trained Brandon. B-Loose learned everything he knows because of me. And he said that to a few people with me in front of him before. And I'm not being braggadocious, but at this point, I'm just letting it all fucking come out, you know? So after I left, Brandon was still talking to me. We would still go to reptile shows and hang out. And I was still helping him with things, but he was paying me peanuts and keeping me on a hook, thinking I was going to eventually come back, and they were eventually going to make all my royalty stuff right. And then I found out things didn't add up. I was like, well, why won't Ryan give me just a point on royalties and say, yeah, I helped write that song? So then I started asking questions for the first time and found out that they were telling people that I was on meth Dude, I ain't ever touched fucking meth. I mean, look at me. I mean, my teeth are jagged and fucked up, but they're all there. I've never touched meth. I promise you that. So they told me that. I heard that from some people. Some people said that Brandon had told some people that I had came up to them and said that they were no longer my kind of people, which is fucking false.
That hurt.
That really hurt me because the guy that said it, he was really hurt by it, and it hurt me that he was hurt. I'm an emotional dude. It is what it is. And then I was told that I came and told him that I was stealing. Like I just walked in and said, well, I'm stealing, guys. Got to go. She gone. Nah, that's how they made it out to be. And that just wasn't the case. They let us go. They tried to set her
I was
up.
about to say, actually, Brandon tried to set me up because I ran Ryan's merch through all of the stadium shows and stuff. I did a lot of the designs with some other people. I would do like the rough sketches because I'm terrible at digital art, but I would send those off and have them digitized.
And then people claim it as their own fucking art.
So I sold and designed a lot of the merch in that time period. And so the way the merch setup worked, because we had several merch tables, we went from 1 to 2 to 3 to 5 to 6 tables.
Yeah, to 3 merch stations.
And so I would go and I would drop, the cash deposits. Of course, every time you guys swiped your card and stuff like that, it went into a Square account that was linked to a PayPal that Brandon had access to, and then the money got dropped in a box, and Brandon would come grab the cash occasionally. When it got too full, I would call for cash, whatever. But I inventoried everything in and I inventoried everything out. I still have a lot of those inventories to this day.
Oh, we've kept all of our records.
Yeah.
We had to learn that, but go ahead.
So, and also, anytime you guys tipped me, it never went into my pocket. Nope. I felt that I got paid. I didn't get paid as good as I should have, but I felt like we were doing our part and we were getting paid for it and we were happy to do it. Every time you guys tipped, I never took the tips because I knew that there were always variables that someone was inevitably going to steal. And just to make sure that my numbers came up, on par or above, I never took any of the tips, just to make sure that they were abundantly clear that I would never take anything from them. So they tried to set me up for stealing first. And I told Chad that I just had this weird feeling because Brandon kept asking me. He said $20,000 is missing. Where's this $20,000? Blah, blah, blah. Can't find it. So I ended up going to the office that was on Main Street in Ashland City when they had it at the time. And within 5 minutes, I was able to find it and show them exactly where everything was.
Was it in their PayPal, wasn't it?
And it was in the PayPal.
Yeah. Yeah. So that should have been our first red flag. We took that because that was the first time. We took that as, okay, that was weird, But I literally kept working when he didn't pay me for several months. And whenever I helped build Blue Moon Entertainment and he was on No Jumper saying, yeah, Chad started this company with me and it had millions in assets and I left with nothing. And I didn't get on the internet and say a damn thing because he didn't say a damn thing. So this isn't about money to us. Matter of fact, we're spending our own money. We dropped, 10 grand on video gear to be professional video editors. That's not our strong suit, but I'm learning, so we're investing our money. We're paying our guys, we're paying Trevor. We're paying our camera guys. We paid for the polygraph, and I made sure. And the reason I took a polygraph is because that motherfucker would threaten me with it all the damn time until I stood up to him in Nashville and I said, you know what? That's it. Let's get in the fucking car. You pick the polygraph guy. You give me the polygraph so this shit can stop because I was tired of it. So me taking the polygraph was meant for him and him alone. I understand some people don't like polygraph. That's fine, but that's why I picked the best in Tennessee. He did Candace Owens. He's done several people. He's been doing it since the 80s. Like you heard on the video, he's done over like 60,000 different types of tests. I found the most reputable guy I could. And I will post that in its entirety, but I can't post it now because it's going to give away the rest of the series. Because there's still some heavy questions on there. So let's take another one or two. Did Ryan buy y'all a house? Do you think he will try to take it away?
Oh.
All right, so here's the deal. Let's talk about my fucking house, the small drop in the bucket that you made, right? So whenever I first started coming back before I was managing him, I started coming back around June timeframe. When he asked me to be the manager, he's like, let me move you here. I'll put you in a house, like lease out a house for a year and you can move the family here. And I was like, I can't do that. I was like, I have moved 15 times in 10 years for different entertainers and I have nothing to show for it. And at that time, he was wanting to get rid of the security team because he thought they were special ops. And at that time, I kind of came in looking at everybody as they were bad because my goal was to really clean house and start over, because I felt that was the best thing to do. He's like, well, let's get them out of there, and then I'm going to sign the house over to you. So the guy promised me houses in the past, and we were always last on the list for anything. I got paid $5,000 a month, which I know that's a lot of money, but for the amount of money I was bringing in, I mean, touring along was generating millions a year, and I got a very small percentage of that. And then to find out that the guy I trained that was letting me do all the hard work, be loose, was getting paid almost 6 figures a month, allegedly. That showed me how much they valued me. I was doing, in my opinion, me and my wife were doing a majority of the work and getting no credit and nothing out of it. So did he give me this house? He absolutely did. And
Also-
that was part of the deal for me to move here to even work with him.
This house is like, we've put so much work into this fucking house.
Yes.
Because-
Over 6 figures of work.
Yeah. Obviously we're in the studio right now.
This was a
and
garage.
This was a garage.
It's got the door from Gibson Guitars on it. I got from a friend, but this was literally a garage.
So, one of the bedrooms and bathroom was complete. First of all, it's a trailer.
Yes,
we
double
live
wide.
in a double wide trailer. I love our trailer. We've got some land. It's in the school district where my kiddo wants to be in school. Perfect. We would live in a cardboard fucking box. So when we got this house, we knew we were gonna have to put some work and some TLC into it. We had to replace the entire roof. The floors were caving in. We had to get the floors like reinforced before we could even begin to move in. And then, it was just gross. It was dirty. And then we had a bedroom that wasn't functional because it was ripped down to the studs. We have a bathroom that's still not functional because we
went through contractor. Nobody does honest work.
So we didn't get gifted a mansion
No.
or anything like
and
that.
Here's the deal. Yes, he gave us a house. Yes, it's probably valued at over $500,000. I deserve way more than that. I help you write some fucking big songs that I've seen the numbers now, which really was it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. So this house is our house. He's not going to get this fucking house
He tried
back.
to give us the Pool Street house.
Oh
after
yeah, he tried
evicted
to,
Trevor.
and I think that was a trick. He tried to give us the Pool Street house after evicting Trevor. Said, "Why don't y'all move in there, and then we'll just sell that one." But I think what he did was going to try to get us in there because he already had this plot to get rid of us, and then sell this one, take that money, and then kick us out of that one. So nobody. Not only did I have a notable notary come to your house and sit down at your house and do the paperwork, but I went and paid all your back taxes because you hadn't paid the taxes on it. So are you getting this house back? Not without a fucking fight. Not without a fight. You ain't getting shit back that you gave me. Matter of fact, if I have anything to do with it, and if I can persuade the people that are now on my side, you owe me some shit, dog. You owe me some shit. So the answer is no.
I saw a storage unit a couple times.
Yeah.
Can we just break it down? Because I
Yes.
don't think it's still
Okay.
clear for people.
Here's the deal with a storage unit, all right? I tried to explain the best I could in the first episode. When I came back around, he was spending a lot of money very frivolous, or whatever that word is. What's the word?
Frivolously.
That word, I can't say it right now. I, right off the rip, in the first few months, shaved off $300,000 a year off of his budget. One of the things he was paying for was a big-ass warehouse in Ashland City that cost almost $6,000 a month that nobody was going to. I spent my first month here cleaning that fucker out because it was so disgusting. He had a lot of merch in there and some gear. I said, well, hey, you know how we can save some money, Ryan? We could take all that shit and put it in 2 storage lockers. He was like, wow, that's a good idea. So we called the accountant. I went down there and set the storage unit up. His accountant then called and set up for payments on the storage unit. He then paid his family members to move everything from the warehouse to the storage unit. There were 2 lockers. One locker got full. We never had a chance to put a damn thing in the second locker because he got paranoid and thought it was a sex trafficking ring and they were selling firearms, ammunition, and doing crazy things, and Jelly Roll was involved with the warehouse. So he told us to never go back there. So I then had to talk to the lady that rents the warehouse and said, ma'am, we're not going to be paying next month and there's nothing I could do. And she's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? There's still a bunch of stuff in there. I was like, well, I don't know. So I'm probably whoever came along got all his shit because he was too paranoid to let his family move the rest of it. So one locker was empty. Now fast forward, accountant quits. It goes unpaid for months. I keep telling Ryan, like, dude, we have got to pay the bill on the storage unit. It's a couple $100. You're going to lose all your merch. He doesn't do it. So I go down there on his behalf with my own money, pay the guy $1,000 to catch it up to speed, sent Ryan a picture of the receipt, which I shared in the first episode, along, and he thanked me. Not only did he thank me, he said, how about we go out this weekend and we try and sell some of this stuff? I was like, let's do it. But like every other thing, it got shot down. So that was the wildest thing. So then he started talking about a video. He started, before he went and reported me to authorities, or talked to the authorities about it, he said there was a video that exists of this other past employee who's also kind of a bigger guy like me. He's like, he's saying he was you. And there's a video of him in a white box truck emptying out the second storage thing. I was like, dude, there was nothing in the second storage thing. I never had the key. That was intentional. I gave it to his family member. Never touched the key to the locker. I knew right off the rip. Every time he tried to get me to log into his bank and he wanted me to have his bank stuff, I denied all that. The reason I denied the debit card for $50,000 wasn't because of the accountant. It was because I was thinking, like, why is this guy trying to give me a debit card with a $50,000 limit? So all this stuff, he absolutely knew about it. There are, matter of fact, is an overwhelming amount of evidence pointing toward. I saw this coming. I had already reached out and talked to authorities prior to him and going to report me to the authorities because I saw it coming. Every time I saw something fishy, I was on the phone. Like, I don't know where this is going, but it kind of feels like he's trying to set me up, So that's the fucking truth.
Okay, so we will answer the question about what drugs. That will be answered. Did we sign an NDA? No, we never signed NDAs. We actually tried.
We tried.
We offered him to sign.
Hey, you know what? I might actually go to church soon, and I haven't been in a long time because I pushed him to do the NDAs when I first came around. Man, had we assigned one, we would have just been out here taking the abuse and not being able to do shit about it. You can't tell me there ain't some greater power at work, because I think when you keep throwing negative energy into the world, negative energy, eventually that shit just explodes. And I think essentially what he is doing, and it wasn't in the cards for us to become content creators in 2026. We were the guys in the background giving those guys ideas of stuff to do and never getting any credit. But hey, thank you. I appreciate it. And I'll seize the moment and I'll work hard and we'll try to pump out some of the best content we can for you guys. Like after 2 more episodes, we're done with Ryan and we've already got the next story we're moving to. And I will be done talking about him and he can just go online and promote me for the next 6 months to a year.
So, lied to you. We had no idea he wasn't okay mentally and physically. We were fed whatever story
Yes.
he wanted to feed, whatever narrative about it, the same thing that he's doing to us. He was just doing to the previous ones before us.
Yes.
About how they were basically all not doing their jobs and he was paying them to do nothing and he's only one person and he can't do all this shit and blah blah blah. He just needs help. That was the whole reason, because when we went to have that first conversation, we just wanted closure.
That's it.
And then it came back.
Blu-ray in the house. Love you, dog.
And then it came back that, hey, I just really need some help. I really need some help.
Yeah.
So,
and that's another thing, you just touched on something. So when I first came back for the first couple months, I didn't know. I was trying to assess the chaos. Like I literally, I know I was joking about my head being on a swivel. Ryan really did have me convinced, 1, that all the cops were in his pocket. Two, that he was talking to different people to include some guy named Doug, who supposedly was his direct connection to the president. And I was kind of believing it because in the past, he had got some wild calls from politicians and stuff. I saw it firsthand. So I was still trying to figure out who was who, what was what, so I came in kind of aggressively in assessing the situation. By before Christmas time, I had finally realized, okay, this guy is literally planning things to create chaos, to create content, but it's having real life consequences to the people involved. Because I ended up calling him out several times at his house. I was like, well, dude, I'd pull him aside and be like, dude, you just told me this. And he was like, I'm only doing that for everybody else. I trust you. Only you, man. I trust you. And then I would leave the room and he'd pull Blu-ray in and say the same thing to him. He was playing all of us like a deck of cards. He's really good at it. I just had to become better at it.
We will address the drugs. We will address the sausage castle.
Yes, we'll address that. Somebody says I didn't.
I see a lot of stuff about the sausage castle.
I never said sausage castle. And honestly, I wish I hadn't put that thing in the video. I should have moved it. That thing says castle. Now you're assuming sausage castle. Will it be addressed on the 4th episode? Yes. The final 4th episode. Let me tell you this. What you guys are thinking and perceiving now won't be the same thing you're thinking at the end of the 4th episode. I'll tell you that. We put a lot of thought into it. We're like, hey, if we're going to make something, like we're going through this shitty thing, we've been handed all these lemons. We're going to make a big-ass glass of lemonade and make the best of it. And I was like, while we're doing it, let's make it creative. Let's make it interesting, and let's keep people on the hook like a show. We were originally going to do a series, but honestly, after the second one, we're going to cut this thing off at 4, and then I'm done talking about him. I'm moving right along. You'll see. But yes, to answer your question, yes. Why does Ryan source from 1% groups? He continues to claim connection with them. Hey, here's the deal. I'm not going to speak on any clubs or groups. I've got respect for those guys. I've got friends that are in clubs, to include 1% clubs, that I respect. And I've been able to, throughout the years, be able to do my thing and be a part of like a punk crew. And those guys have respected that and shown me respect. I'm not going to speak illy on those dudes and what they do. That's none of my fucking business. I respect my friends, and I hope they would do the same for me. But so to answer that question, that you have to ask somebody else that, brother. Did Justin Adams help him write Old Days? Yes. He disappeared shortly after that song went big. Yes, he did the same thing to Justin. Now, granted, I'm not here to lie about anybody. Justin was a young kid, had a really bad drinking problem, caused a lot of problem for us on the road. He was a very talented kid and could have done a lot. And
he was battling his demons at that point.
Yeah, he was battling his demons. But yes, he did write some songs, and I doubt he even saw a fraction of it. Good.
Well, I'd seen something.
What is the possibility of all this landing him in jail? I'm gonna say this. I did all the appropriate things. I know some of you guys have been commenting like, why don't somebody do this and why don't I did. I don't give a fuck what anybody says about it. I don't care about if you call me a snitch, call me whatever. I live for my family and my friends, and that's all that matters. If someone starts to do shit that I don't agree with and I think is morally and ethically wrong, I'm going to speak up and say something. And if you're that kind of dude, then don't fucking hang around me, because I ain't got shit for you. Like, I'm past that part of my life. I changed and I moved forward, So I did all the appropriate things. I can't make anything happen faster than what it is. I don't understand it myself. I do worry about some people still, and I hope that everybody comes out of this okay. But yeah, that's what I can say.
Speaking of everybody, like, we're not going to speak on anybody else except for Ryan. Like, everybody keeps asking about other people.
Yeah, I don't want to unless they want to speak, And I've got a lot of people. Dude, I have a ton of people that are hitting me up about being a part of this, and they have stories to tell, and all their stories are valid, and they deserve a platform to talk about it. But unfortunately, I have to make this about us for once. because that I'm covered if it's about us. I start bringing like me, Trevor, Chelsea, Jay, we're covered. But I don't want to bring anybody else into this and then something happens to them and I carry some kind of guilt with that. So the Sausage Castle, let's just say this. For those that don't know, I moved from Kentucky. I was managing a rapper named Stitches at one point. I met Mike Busey, the owner of the Sausage Castle, at a show in Florida that Stitches played. We went back to his house, became friends. Me and Chelsea uprooted our entire life and moved down there to work for him for a year. And we spent a lot of time there. But as far as what you guys are talking about, you're going to have to wait. You're just going to have to wait.
I'm going to address something about Offbeat because there's somebody in here just
Yeah.
absolutely losing their
That's
mind.
fine. Yeah, let's talk about it.
So the human remains that we buy and sell, they are retired medical specimens.
Yes.
So when you go into a classroom and you see an articulated skeleton, that was somebody who donated their body to science. So when those get old, aged, beat up, chipped, dropped, damaged, whatever, and new specimens come in all the time, the old ones get dismantled, they get cataloged, and they get thrown into a box, put into circulation. And I've already said this in a comment. I don't know what anybody else does with any of that. But for somebody to be in here suggesting that we do, awful, disrespectful things, like all of these people, they're human beings.
Okay.
They're human beings.
I'm going to lose a thought if you don't.
Go ahead.
Okay. So let me ask you this. We've been doing this since Ryan known us. Why is it a problem now when it wasn't a problem when he's standing in our home in Bowling Green, Kentucky, holding one of our human skulls?
And he's the one who pulled up our soft white underbelly interview to watch with us at his house.
Every time he would talk about the soft white underbelly thing, he would talk about human humerus bone and had like a little voice and everything to go with it. So if we're so bad.
No, so what I wanted to say is that these are people that in their lifetime and chose in their death to donate their body for further learning, for science. They've done just that, and we get these bones, and we are extremely respectful. I know you used the humorous as like a fidget thing, and people were calling you out on that. You've already addressed it, but you just have ADD, and you were just fiddling with whatever was in your hand during that interview. But those people, we get to take those specimens out on the road. We do a lot of conventions. We bring the specimens with us. And it's so much fun to sit at the table and have people come up and they've never seen a rib bone. They've never seen a vertebrae. They're holding this and it's continuing that education and it's continuing that reverence of that person for donating their body to be learned and studied. And it's really disrespectful to them to sit there and say that we're, being disrespectful when we're literally just giving them loving homes.
Yeah. So to answer the question,
instead of sitting in a fucking box
to
somewhere.
Summarize all that, we do everything legally, ethically. We have stuff in the Bone Museum in Brooklyn, which is a very prestigious museum. We have stuff in Alcatraz East and Pigeon Forge. We're not out here digging up graves or none of that bullshit. We've sold stuff to law enforcement. We've sold stuff to doctors. We're doing it legally and ethically. Yep, you don't like it, I understand. It's not for everybody. But if it's such a bad deal, then why is the mug in my house in Bowling Green years ago in 2017 holding one of the human skulls because he was so impressed with it? Anyway, next question. Let's answer a couple of the bad ones. Let's see. I think y'all both. Yeah, I am weird. I've never said I'm not weird, dude. Like, I've been pretty weird my whole life. I haven't fit in with all of society. I've always felt kind of like different than everybody else. And I looked at things differently, but that's okay. I'm okay with it. So we got Ryan in here under @RollTug. Did the storage building have merch in it, or was it full of Adderall? Nah, I think the Adderall's at his house. The merch it had a bunch of merch, a lot of merch. There's a lot of merch in there. And here's the deal: I'm not paying another bill on that bitch. So there's a good chance that that's just going to end up in an auction. I mean, I tried to do what I could do. Fuck that shit. Yeah, that's definitely Ryan. Roll Tug. Hell yeah. I'll let you stay here a little bit longer, Roll Tug, but I'm just going to block you in a second.
I don't see it. What's up?
So Chad's favorite subject himself. He just commented. He's hot, dude. Did y'all see today? Somebody sent me something that Ryan was done. He was quitting. Here's the thing. Think about this. To my knowledge, and go check up on this because I couldn't find it. Ryan has never sued anyone before.
Well, I guess
He's been sued. Besides, well, no, Beedloo sued his mom, from what I understand. Okay. He's been in like a ton of lawsuits. So what does that tell you about what he's worried about? I'm the first one. Little old me over here. Before last week, I had like 4,000 followers. I'm nobody. So what does that tell you?
Yes, my name is Chelsea, and you'll see people in here saying our name. I apologize because there's a crazy male out there saying my name more than
his more than anybody he's ever been with combined. And it's just to mess with me. I'm not gonna use those tactics. I'm not gonna go because here's the truth, man. I care for his family. You can't spend 9 months practically living sometimes there, never having much time to yourself, and not develop a relationship and care for someone. If you don't, then we're not the same. So I'm not gonna speak bad on them. If I was ever called by someone in his family to testify at some of the vile, disgusting things that I've heard on their behalf, I absolutely would. I'll say that.
So again, we'll cover the drug thing
So here's what you can bet your bottom dollar on. Was Ryan on drugs? Yes. Was he doing multiple drugs? Yes. Did it feel like, was it getting like, oh shit, this is too much, I feel like I'm a part of something illegal? Yes. Did I tell the appropriate people? Yes. For what and what all it's going to be, you're going to have to wait. Like there's a reason we're doing everything we're doing. And not only that, but it has to go through proper channels to be approved to make sure I'm doing it the right way to avoid, problems, allegedly, in my opinion.
There's something that I want to address because I see the Tater Gang guy in here. And I got sent one of his videos by somebody. So I had no clue that Beast. What am I?
Oh yeah! Oh my God! Okay, let's just talk about this. I know what you're about to say.
Able to say
yeah, the Beast Boy guy.
I didn't know.
I did not know either. Yeah.
And so Tater, I had actually messaged you because I'd had several people send me some videos and like clips of him. I have had no interaction with this guy prior. He literally just tried to message me and call me a bunch of times. And like that was my first. And all I knew was that was the guy that Ryan paid the money to do the thing.
Yeah, so that's my fault. So here's what happened with that. Let me explain that. I was scrolling through the internet and I saw the Beast Boy reacting, and I saw my wife's name. I think it said Chelsea something. So I immediately went under the thing and I said, should I drop the receipts of Ryan paying you money to react on his shit? And then that sent him into a spiral. He started trying to text me, call me, and I was just like, new phone, who dis? And then he started trying to call Chelsea. I had no idea that guy had been accused of doing some weird shit years ago. No one had told me that. I wouldn't have been cool with sending that guy money. I mean, ultimately, that was Ryan's call. I just facilitated the accountant. But does Ryan pay people to react on him? Yes. Do I pay people to react on me? No, I have not paid anyone. I will support them. Like I did go sign up to be a member on Chill Rock's page and a member on Gotcha Man, because there's some of the few people that are standing up on our behalf, and I never asked for that. I literally never asked for that, but I appreciate it.
I mean, their ability to interpret the situations and what's going on, because there are definitely a few subtle things that we've said and done. And they pick up on it, and they're extremely observant, and they also know a lot of the backstory throughout their interactions, and you're not pulling the wool over their eyes, and we definitely appreciate their perspective on it because it's pretty fucking accurate. Yeah.
I did not sign an NDA. I answered that a little while ago. All right, we'll take a few more. Give me something good.
I think you're seeing like old ones.
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh, I am, dude. I'm way. Oh shit.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
And someone did say like we need to get some moderators in here. I think we.
Yeah, we got Trevor. I mean, that's the thing. Like, here's the deal. If I don't like something you're gonna say, I'm just gonna hide you from the channel. But at the same time, sometimes I want different opinions in here. But when it gets to where you're being just fucking mean, I'll just cut you loose and wish you the best. When did you begin to realize he was on drugs? How long has he been active addiction abuse? Okay. So I didn't know what he was doing for a long time. I had to really kind of put my nose to the ground and be a little detective work myself because I knew shit wasn't adding up. And as someone who's been around, and I have a different take on addicts and addictions than probably a lot of people because I come from a background of having people in my life that have problems and that I really truly cared and loved for. And I know a lot of people do things like that to escape problems and that kind of thing. So I don't look at somebody who does those things as lesser than me. But once I kind of felt like, yeah, he's got to be, I really pushed him to do the right thing. And I really feel that we got him clean for a period of time. It was a brief period, but I fought hard for that. But it wasn't until you're asking when I found out the exact drugs, a couple months before I left.
And we tried to push, a better lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like, hey, personal trainer, healthy living.
I was convinced that he was just abusing Adderall. And that's the thing is like, yeah, it's a prescription drug. Yeah, but when it's not your prescription name on it, is a whole different story. You know what I mean? And the doctor ain't saying take 30 of these a day and, call me tomorrow, So at first I kind of just thought maybe that was it. And it took some digging to kind of find out how extensive it was.
Grim Reaper. So I'm not going to read it back, but just to answer that one, Ryan's whole platform at the beginning was, anti-drug.
Yeah.
He had the whole huge shoot your local heroin dealer.
That's why a lot of people fell in love with him.
Yeah.
He was that positive Southern gentleman.
Yeah, and
people fell in love with that.
Yeah, and then look at what happened, and then he pushes all these agendas, and then turns out that he's talking the talk, but he's not walking the walk.
I'll say this to me. Here's the deal. Like when I first started coming around, and he was so paranoid about going to prison, and I'm thinking like, because I've been around a ton of artists and celebrities, and to be honest, a large percentage do drugs. It's just kind of a part of the industry. As sad as that may sound. But I was like, well, it can't be that. I was like, what has this guy done while I was gone where he's so worried about prison? And literally, it wasn't until a short time ago where I had a light bulb go off, and I know exactly why he's scared to go to prison. I know. I know that's why he's been wanting someone else to go to prison. I know. And I feel real soon the whole world's going to know. I asked him to donate to the Recovery Cheatham County outside Tractor Supply. He donated $1. That's fucked up.
Oh, about the donations and stuff, like, we really tried to put some positive things in his life, like, hey,
Dude,
reconnect with your community, let's do some positive things.
Yeah.
Let's
soon as we came back around, we did that.
Yeah. I saw a post on a local page that was talking about one of the local high schools needing some band equipment.
Yeah.
They had some competitions and stuff, and they needed a bunch of things, and so I hit up Chad and said, I think this would be a really cool thing. This is literally Ryan's backyard. This is where Lily will go to school.
Yeah.
Can we do something positive with this? And
Yeah, we pushed him to do that. We pushed him to do that because first when I came back, I was like, okay, got to get rid of everybody. I got to start in the community. Got to get the community on board with us 100%, and then we start branching out to other areas, make right these past tours, like all that. That was all my goal. I wanted to fix everything, get the ship back on course, and I tried like fucking hell, dude. But we could not get past late night investigations that went nowhere, you know. For anyone who says Ryan ain't been tweaking, lying to, yeah, I mean that's the thing. Here's the deal. I don't personally understand for people that like someone as an artist so much that they obsess over them and that they can do no wrong. You've never met him in person. You've never spent a single, maybe a minute at a meet and greet, but that's not the real person. The real person is that person at 3 a.m. in the morning, you know? That's the real person, not the guy that you hear on the internet. Anybody can go on the. I'm not trying to convince any of you guys that I've always been the best person, because that would be a lie. You know, do I feel like I've been a pretty good man the last decade? Yeah, I do. And I work really hard at that. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. The only thing I'm trying to show you is lie after lie after lie. And the problem is these true fans, it don't matter. Nothing we say or do is going to, this isn't for them. This is for the rest of the world. This is for potential new fans, not for the current ones. There's no hope for them. There's a couple, here's the thing. I see a question and I really don't want to touch down onto it. I'll tell you this. Whenever I was around, I would not allow anyone to have hands put on them. All right. So I would always step in. So when the thing happened with Trevor, I was not there. And I totally disagree with that. And I hate that for him. And I won't allow that to happen to him again. Damn, Ryan got 2 profiles now. All right, let's get a couple more in, and then I'm gonna fucking call it. I'm tired. I appreciate every single one of you. The people that sent a little bit of money, I appreciate that. I don't expect it, but I do appreciate it. If you want to support, we're giving everything out for free, but we did start a membership tier, and that's mainly just to help us continue this project and could keep going on, because we are paying for everything out of our pocket. We're paying our guys. And we're working really hard. I mean, if you can't hear it in my voice, you know, we've been filming nonstop.
Diamonds, yes. To answer your question, yes. Absolutely, we are.
I didn't see the question, but. All right, I got more people asking about the drugs. Listen, next episode, we're going to address the drugs. What you have to understand is there's certain things that I have to exclude because I don't want to fuck up anything that is currently ongoing. You know what I mean? So I'm going to do my best. If you don't believe it by the next one, then there's no hope for me to convey the message good enough. But I will say the 4th episode is definitely going to take you by surprise. And that's going to be the final one, and it's fucking done. Moving right along to the next project, where our goal now is to go out and help people like us and tell their story of other entertainers and other people in the industry, whether it be film, TV, whatever, where, you know, they were the story was pitched differently than what it actually was. Tell their side, because it's really hard to stand up against someone with millions of followers. It's pretty much just automatic suicide in most cases. But when he started bringing my family into it, I had to do something.
And yeah, I will say, like, the whole reason that we ever started with Ryan. So we were living in Columbus, Georgia in 2014.
Yes.
And Chad was working a really physically demanding job, and he was just in pain all the time. And I was working a retail job, and we both loved music, and we did it as a passion. And we were talking, and we were just like, one day, we're just like, what if we take a leap of faith and, you know, go to Nashville or somewhere and try to do this full time? And Nashville's where we ended up. And we ended up with a company, and we were doing booking.
Yeah, I had a guy take a chance on me. And thanks to him, he knows who he is. I had a guy that took a chance on me when nobody else would, and I had a woman that took a chance on me when nobody else would. And because of that, I was able to excel and carve out a path. And I'm very appreciative to those people.
So how it started was one night, because all we could afford in the early days was what was it, cookout. We would get a cookout plate and we would split it. So we were sitting on the couch in the booking agency and just flipping through YouTube, just trying to find some good artists, to somebody that caught our attention. And we came across Ryan with, it was, I think he had like
Cheatham.
25,000
Cheatham
views
County
or
had just
something on
dropped
Cheatham
or something,
County.
and it had a little traction, yeah.
And we're like, this is different.
Yeah.
Like, this is different than everything else that we've been hearing. And so we ended up, there were meetings and all that stuff. But long story short, you know, we started booking for Ryan by his second show. And we were booking agents, and then we were a management team, and then we were let go the first time. And, you know, it was about 2 years, and we did a lot of personal growth, and then ended up back where we are now, essentially. But Ryan did put out great music. He was a great musician. He was great.
And to listen, but the reason it was, though, is because he had great people around him.
Well,
it wasn't just him alone. Yes, can he write? He has ability to write, like,
that's what I'm saying.
very
Literally,
few people
like,
that I've spent time with. I'm not going to take that away from him, but as far as like people writing records, Travis Tidwell wrote fucking the Creeker records. Let's be real. A lot of people helped him.
I'm not saying that he sat down and got behind a guitar and a drum kit and a bass and got behind the microphone and tracked everything and did everything himself, but he was talented.
Yeah.
And through the hard work of him and a lot of other people, it got to the point where
Thank you, Jamie.
we were able to sell out arenas.
Yeah.
And he had the world in his palm. He could have woken up and chosen to do anything he wanted to that day. He could have done something positive. He could have done something fun, could have done something creative. And I saw a lot of people asking about, you know, is he really that way about Adam and Jelly and all of them? Yes. Because every single day for the past however many years, in my opinion, I think the last good thing that was put out was probably People's Champ Pioneer. And we were gone shortly after that.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, I lost my train of thought.
Okay, I didn't mean to make you lose your train of thought, but here's the thing.
But
When I was around and he was in the studio, I was always honest with him and told him when I thought something was good. And I wasn't one of the yes men. Now, did I do it with white gloves on because his ego was very fragile? I absolutely did. But I was honest, and I would tell him, hey, like, hey, man, that's way too much auto-tune, or, you know, this or that. I was always honest. So, and I think that's a thing every artist should have, is someone who's going to be honest, even when your shit's really good or when it's really shitty, you know? So I still go back to that, yes, was he a creative, and did he do some really cool things? He absolutely did. He's a good writer, or was a good writer. But there were a lot of people that played a role in that. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you. Robbie, to answer your question, I literally smoke THCA from Marley's Smoke Shop in Nashville, Tennessee. The last year or so, I've got away from anything illegal, and the main reason is because I've been trying to make steps to get my record expunged and pardoned from my early 20s as a 44-year-old man. And even as a 44-year-old man, I wouldn't even hang around the guy I was in my 20s and early 30s. I wouldn't even kick it with that guy now, so. I made a lot of really big shit happen for him through a lot of fucking hard work. And I've got all the receipts to show that, you know. But I literally showed a video of us writing Rolling Stone in the studio, and that's not good enough either. It doesn't matter what I showed to some of y'all are not gonna believe it. because y'all love him that much, and I respect that. All right. Do you remember when we went to the Bell Witch Chelsea?
God.
You know, and here's another thing too. It's okay to listen to someone. There are bands right now that I love and adore their music, and it was a part of my childhood. But then some of the guys in the band just turn out to be vile people, and I have to separate myself from the person and listen to the music. I'm not trying to take away that there's not good songs out there.
And to some of these questions, like there are some pieces of the puzzle that have been missing that until recently haven't been filled in for us from a lot of different people, because it wasn't just me and Chad around him. There were a lot of people who were a lot closer, spent a lot more time with him, were involved in situations that we were not involved in, were not present for. We were told one side, which was his side. And now, for the first time, we are able to hear some of those other sides and have some of those questions answered for us. So there is a lot to speak on. Some of it we can't speak on. We're speaking on what we can. But there is so much more at play, and there are so many more questions that we can't answer because it's not part of our story to tell. But there are people that have told you they're part of the story, and you should listen to them and you should believe them.
Yeah. And B. Loose is a fraud. Fuck B. Loose. I ain't got shit for B. Loose. He was supposed to be my best friend, and I looked at him as my best friend, and to go out there and say lies and go, even if he just went along with it, what Ryan was saying, fuck you too, dude. I ain't got shit for you. So don't think this isn't me thinking that he's still cool, because I don't think he's cool. I always stood up. You can ask the other guys on the team. I would speak my mind. And when he would say crazy shit to me, I'd be like, fucking call the cops, you know? You're saying I did what? Well, then fucking, I'm in Georgia and you think I broke into your home and planted a weapon when I'm down here with my kids? Call the fucking cops, dog. Like, I did stand up to him, and that's what he don't like about me, because he doesn't want that. He doesn't want people to be honest with him. He doesn't want someone to say what they're feeling. So, is Ryan really a country dude? Well, here's the deal, man. He's from the country. I mean, he got famous when he was 18 or 19. He acts like he talks all this hard labor, blue collar shit. But I mean, how much work did he possibly do in high school? You know, there's a lot of people I know have been fucking doing hard fucking labor for decades of their life, not a couple years while they were in high school. So I mean, I don't know what he is anymore. I don't know. Everything I believed about him started to change when I came back.
Someone said, ain't no way, Ryan ain't have no ghostwriter, no way. You're literally talking to two of his ghostwriters right now.
For sure. And we're not the only ones. I mean, there's been a ton of people help him over the years that got zero credit. I wish one would pop up in here. I'd see if they want to come on.
Ryan's walking around in leggings and a medium t-shirt. He ain't no country boy. Lord.
Here's the deal. He asked me to come back. So if I'm this evil person with all these, he asked me to come back. Does that make sense? I mean, just think on that for a while. He asked me to come back. When he asked me to come back, I told him what the stipulations were going to be. Because at the time, I was already doing okay. You know, I was already, before coming back, I was already making a good salary on my own, doing body piercing, and then also doing video work and traveling and doing our events and conventions. I was happy and content. So when I came back, there had to be some things from the past made right before I even entertained it.
Ryan's in the shower talking shit on IG again. Oh, that didn't last.
Oh my God! Someone sent me something for a couple hours ago that he was positive from here on out.
He wasn't going to speak no more on it.
Here's the deal. I'm in Cheatham County. We're in Cheatham County every day, all day. Like, I go out, I wear my Tweaker Ryan shirt all across town. You know, every time I go out, I try to put that thing on and wear it with pride. I'm not going anywhere. No one's going to run me out of this county. When we finally do leave here, it'll be because we wanted to. church start the video.
So, yeah, I mean,
You know what? Here's,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, baby. I got to
No,
address this.
I'm-
Cheatham County doesn't suck, guys. Let me tell you. Cheatham County is really beautiful for one. I see why people fall in love with it. And I'm not talking ill on the people in Cheatham County. Everyone here is friendly. All the law enforcement that I've interacted in with have been nothing but kind and respectful to me. All the people in the town have been that way, with the exception of a small few. So I really do love this county. Like, I love being here. It's a great place to raise a family. We love it.
How many showers does he take a day?
Oh man! So we bought this program called iMazing, and you upload your whole phone and you can search shower. It is hysterical, because I learned really on. I was like, why is this guy taking a few showers a day? Like, I mean, I like to shower. I shower once a day. I mean, there are days I might take 2 showers, but that was always the thing. It didn't matter when I got there, when I left, or during something. And then I found out real quick what shower meant. It doesn't mean, the bathtub's going and water's coming out of the spigot. And
We shower, but we ain't never come out of no shower that.
I never came out of a
refreshing.
shower that height, dude. Like, before going to the shower, about to fall asleep, coming out of the shower, my eyes are allegedly, in my opinion, allegedly. Did B. Loose come into the picture before, after me? I trained B. Loose. Everything he learned from me. He even said it multiple times. I trained him because I learned on the fly. So when he became the manager, I took him out and showed him about back ends. Basically showed him how you couldn't trust what a promoter tells you. And we had it down to a science. But yeah, B. Loose was after me by several years. Thoughts on Aaron Lewis? I think that's one of the openers, and I don't know much about Aaron. He seemed like a nice guy. He was always nice and kind to me. Nothing to say about Aaron. Is that Aaron, or is Aaron Lewis the guy from?
That's what I'm wondering.
I'm not sure. I may have it wrong.
Before we.
Before I speak on it. Yes,
Say
I've met
something.
Yellow Wolf a few times. Yellow Wolf has always been nice and respectful to me. I don't know if she's still around.
Oh no, that's the stain guy.
Why was B. Loose brought in if you were already there? So I wasn't. I was his booking agent. I had actually been asked a few times by Ryan prior to be his manager. But when I came into Nashville and I learned from my mentor, he made me think it was a bad look to do multiple things. Like, it was something they call in the industry double dipping. Like, if you're booking for him, getting some from there, managing him, getting some from there. So I was happy with booking, and I was also booking for a lot of other acts, to include like Miley Cyrus's brother Trace. We did book Struggle, Jelly Roll, Adam, pretty much every country rapper at one time we were booking for. So I was a content booking. I declined several times to do the management thing. Here's the deal. You know what I really wanted at the end of this is him. I would love to see him come out and just be honest with the fans, because that would probably fix a lot of things for him. Here's some good advice to you, because I know you're watching, because I see you commenting, little Larry. Here's how you fix everything. You come out and you tell the fucking truth. You get on a live and you say, guys, I've fucked up and I've done some fucked up shit, and I am sorry, and I'm going to go get myself better, and I'm going to get help. And when you see me next, I'll be a better person. That's how you fix every fucking thing. Then you humble yourself and you get on a phone, like I tried to tell you, and you start making calls, and you call these other guys and say, hey, I should have never went that route. I was going through some stuff. Honesty would fix it all for him. But I don't think he's going to do that. I hope he does one day, and I hope he gets help. I'll never work for him again. Never, ever, ever. But I do, for the sake of his family, hope he get some help for himself. So that's how you fix it. As someone who has been around music for my entire fucking life and had some really cool opportunities, ones that Ryan never gave me, that I carved out for myself, that's how he could fix everything. He could fix everything tonight if he chose to. And to be honest with you, if he did that, I'd probably just fucking drop it at that point. What's that? Okay, I saw somebody, Chelsea's trying to show me some stuff. No, Ryan did not find those Nazi medals in the attic. So I'm just going to be blunt and be honest with you guys. I buy and sell a lot of crazy stuff, and I know a lot of people that have crazy stuff. Ryan was on my case for a while about trying to get him some stuff, and I did pair him up with someone to get those things. I don't agree with those things. I don't live that way. I have people in my life, and I had many conversations with him. When he would use the N word, we used to get into it all the time about that, and there came a point where he stopped doing that around me, and I respected that. I even came home and told Chelsea, he's like, hey, he's not saying it in front of me anymore. He didn't find the stuff in the attic. He bought that from a guy that deals with war memorabilia.
And actually,
He set it up to do that, and I told him, don't put me on that video. Like when he was showing that, I was like, I do not want to be on that shit.
Actually, I think it was like the second or third time that we'd come back around.
Yeah.
Because we didn't, when we were
Oh,
gone,
Chelsea got in a full argument with him about the Nazi stuff.
when we were gone, we were gone. Like,
Yeah.
we weren't paying attention to what he was posting. We weren't paying attention to what was going on. We had some people reach out to us and be like, hey, he's gone off the deep end. He's off his rocker. Like,
It was probably 3 or 4 months before we came back that we kind of started taking a look at it because it got so wild. People were saying
Yeah.
this crazy ass shit. And then I was just like, what in the fuck is going on? Is no one not telling this guy?
so I walked into the YouTube room because it was supposed to be a studio session. I saw that guitar hanging on the wall.
Yeah.
And I lost my shit. Ryan and I had a 2-3 hour screaming match
Yeah.
back and forth against each other. He was trying to convince me why Hitler was actually not a bad guy. He wasn't the villain.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was. So we were going back and forth, having a full-fledged argument. I was fucking pissed off.
Yeah, I
because
had to
told him, I
cool
said,
it
I don't
off.
care. Yeah, I don't care which way you slice it. He's an evil fucking dude, and
Yeah.
there's nothing that you can tell me. So then he started backtracking a little bit and started talking about how, well, actually going into what the swastika was used for, he was like, I put that up there to see how many people would perceive it as
He's a
what you
racist.
call-
He's a fucking racist, dude.
but to perceive it as the Buddhist use
Yeah.
of it, which is hilarious because I'm actually, I forgot, I'm wearing my Wild Heart Meditation Center shirt from the amazing people at Wild Heart in Nashville. And for him to sit there and try to justify it in any way, shape, or form was just, it pissed me off. But anyways, so I made it very clear on where I stand with all of that. And Chad told me the next day he'd actually taken the guitar down.
Yeah.
And see, a lot of our interactions with people is to try to be positive. We understand that a lot of people live in very small bubbles,
Yes.
very small
Yeah.
corners of the world. And it takes sometimes having new people in your life, new viewpoints,
Yes.
seeing
Yeah.
something that you haven't known your whole life to change your perspective on things. And we have had so many interactions, positive, wonderful, amazing relationships with people. And our perspectives have been changed, their perspectives have been changed. And we were really, really hoping to speak some of that into his life because he had not been like that before. And we figured it was just all this crazy shit that quote unquote be loose, had introduced to him, or what we were told that it came from other people and he was just under all these terrible influences. And so we thought we could come in and speak some positivity and get him off that train.
I was trying to speak positivity to him. I was telling him that was a bad move on his part to put that shit out there. I didn't respect that. Look, here's the thing is even at one point in my life, I held some racist views. I did. That's the truth. And it wasn't me until I met someone of the opposite race that befriended me and showed me love at a time where I just hated the world because I was literally just a sad kid that didn't feel like he had much in life until I had someone change my perspective on that and change my viewpoints. I was no better. So my goal was to come in and show him another side. And because I know with my little tiny brain that you don't fight hate with more hate. You fight hate with love and kindness. And that's what I was trying to speak into existence in his life. Did he purchase y'all house and vehicles? Yes. The house I live in, he purchased. Yes, I started a company with him that made millions of dollars and got nothing. Yes, he's the part of the agreement for me to move here and manage him was a home, which was signed over. And yes, I paid all the back taxes on the property and it's in my name. And yes, it's my fucking house and he ain't getting that shit. So, and yeah, did he? Yeah, he gave me a car one time when I stood up for myself. That was the pattern. Stand up for myself, tell him how I felt. He'd ignore me for a day and then he would try and do something nice for me. And it's all mine. And I posted that in the video intentionally. I posed by the car and bike intentionally because that was a fuck you to him. Sorry, I'm still reading the top.
Sorry, we do talk over each
I
other.
like Deerdorf. I like Deerdorf. I don't have a problem with Deerdorf. I think he's another person that didn't deserve what he got for all that he's done for Ryan, and just being a friend, with anybody that rises to stardom and has to experience like all, because there's a lot of negative shit that comes with it too. So just being there and being beside him, he should have took care of him. I'd take care of my friends and my family. If something popped off for me, I do that. We do that. We do that right now. We just did an event to raise money for a community center that we spent money to do. And it literally, I posted the YouTube video. I wouldn't doubt that Deerdorf had an influence on his music. I mean, the thing is, he hangs out with people. He takes things that he thinks is cool from them, and then he uses them. Like the whole motorcycle thing about my helmet. So what? I got a bubble helmet. I like the bubble helmet. If you go search Facebook and look up X-ray vision and look at the photos in there, there are a lot more things he could pick to troll me on that I've already put out there on myself. I don't care what nobody thinks about my fucking helmet or the way I ride a motorcycle. I'm a grown-ass man.
Thoughts on the Rodney lawsuit is, we wish the family the best in the lawsuit
Yes,
coming up.
I wish the family the best. What he did was wrong. I tried to coach him in the right thing to do, and I thought we were close to doing that, and then he decided to fucking double down. I don't agree with that. I haven't agreed with that. I haven't. It got to the point I just shut my fucking mouth when he would talk about it because there's nothing I could say that was going to change his mind. It was wrong. It was fucking wrong. Even in the event, let's just pretend for a second that this person doesn't exist. Why would you even say something in the event that she did? Can you imagine that?
Progressive with the so I'm trying not to be long-winded because I'm tired. I worked a shift today and my shifts are 12 hours, multiple days. So I'm trying to keep my thoughts together.
I see what he just said.
Yes.
You want me to address it real quick?
Please.
All right, so the first time I heard the audio in its entirety that Trevor took the night after he had been assaulted was right before we filmed, right after I got the lawsuit and everything, and I knew I had to jump in. We were going to take the night off. We ended up editing real quick, spent a couple hours, and then threw it all together. It wasn't the best, but when I heard that shit fucking had a major impact on me because of things I've experienced as a child. My honest feeling and opinion is that I think I know the reason why he's so scared to go to prison. What you have to understand is I have done the right thing, and there are certain things that I wish I could elaborate on fully, but I can't. And there's a reason for that, and it will all come out. So,
and regarding the nature of the photos, again, that Chad and I both heard that call in its entirety that same day.
Yeah.
So what happened was we got the papers allegedly, and we thought we had about 4 hours allegedly to film and edit and get it out.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. We heard the phone call for the first time. And my question, I have no idea because I've never seen those pictures. It was the first time we'd heard that audio. But
It was
what
his-
was it?
it
So
was-
the nature of the photos is like, what is so bad that he was going to pin CP on Trevor for.
Use your fucking, all I can say is use your brain. I can't imagine any detective or anybody that does that on a full-time basis not listen to that. That 10 seconds is so telling. And no one said that but him. No one said that but him. And people are yet still trying to defend that. I don't have anything for you. You know, I don't know what to say.
Will you go ahead and block Earth-sided? They're just being a
Earth-sided?
yeah.
Yeah, I'll block them. So that's a good thing about all this. You can just, is Hosier a good person? I'll be honest, I hadn't spent a lot of time with Hosier. I'm not going to speak on whether he's good. I don't know. I literally hung out with him very limited amount of time. We shot a video. Maybe he came down once or twice. I don't know. I know a lot of people have problems with him, but I mean, you know, I haven't, you know, and I haven't spent enough time to give you any kind of honest answer on that. Here's a little lesson to all you, if any artists are watching this. It's really easy if you got somebody that's getting in your headspace to get rid of them. When I see them pop up, I'll show you. You just hit the little icon and go hide from channel, and they're fucking gone. All right, a little bit longer. 10 seconds isn't proof. It's just a preview. There's the footage of boy getting. Ryan recorded the video of that, from my understanding. I've heard that from multiple people. So there is a video that's probably on an iCloud somewhere, because if you got the right people digging and stuff, they'll be able to find that. But yes, the actual interaction was actually closer to 40 minutes. Yeah, here we go. Earth-sided. Bye. Hold on, wait. Watch this, guys. Bam. She gone. She gone. You gone. What was I saying? I don't even know. Look, we've been working hard. I swear, May 11th, next episode dropping. I cannot wait to the 4th episode. It's going to be the final one, and you guys are going to lose it. Thanks all of you guys for supporting us. All the people that have signed up for memberships. I know it's only a few dollars a month, but man, thank you. That helps. Keeps us going, keeps our guys paid.
So specifically addressing Spivey and Kush and stuff, that's the thing, is we don't know. But again, and this is the question that really, really, really just fucked with me over the couple days that we had to reflect on that, hearing that recording. That's what I thought as well. You know, you have like bath pictures and stuff like that, little baby things.
I don't. I have never taken a photo of my child at any state of their life nude.
And this is what Chad and I went back. But being a mom, I think it's different for me. But if it was something innocent, and I even had somebody who was a social worker reach out to me in this regard, there are differences between just innocent childhood pictures and stuff that is considered sexual in nature, is what I was advised.
Yeah.
So my train of thought, just a logical train of thinking, was what was the content of those pictures that he could pin CP on Trevor. And that's what fucked with us so bad.
Yeah. I don't want to speak a whole lot on that, to be honest with you. It's a sore subject for me, but
that's all I want to say on it.
All right, let's see. Anything else worth addressing, Ryan? Just angry or things that went down? Super proud of you coming out with this. Hey, I appreciate it. I did it because I was tired of it. I figured I'm just going to be the bully for a little bit. That's okay. And then when this is done, I'll go back to being who I am, which is easygoing dude. You know, like a typical Chad. You know.
It was
dates on episode release dates. Yes, May 11th, episode 3 comes out. I'm going to try to have this thing wrapped up and done by the end of May. And then we have a really interesting story. I can't wait to tell you guys. We actually have several to choose from. For the next, Decent Person is going to be a series where the viewer will decide if someone's decent or not. We have an opportunity to go speak with the grandson of a serial killer after the person was arrested and eventually executed on death row. The whole family was torn apart. He spent the last couple years trying to bring the family back together and kind of recover from the sins of their family in the past. So we got that one going. We've got another one that involves a death row inmate that has tied into the media. And then we also have one involving an artist, like a really well-known artist, a band, metal band, a well-known metal band, potentially, too. But I don't want to say too much on that. So anything else? Is it different now? Kids got bath pic for a scrapbook. Now people take pics for posts and show people not the same. All right. Anything else? I'm literally love you, brother. 78 from Pensacola. That's one of my plug ugly guys. I'm not sure who it is, but thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Read my comment. Cook Acres. Where did Cook Acres say? Let's say. Okay. I think Ryan looks up to painting artists where they took drugs and made different paintings, but he does it with music and writing. Guarantee it. He always talks about painting and artists. I'm not sure if I understand that one.
Basically say there are a lot of artists that look like Van Gogh with the absinthe and stuff like that. He like channels that with his music and stuff. Like
I
the
don't
use of
know,
drugs.
dude.
That's what I'm saying. That's speculation.
I
don't-
tried figuring
I
this
don't
dude out for months. It just got weirder and weirder and weirder. And my stopping point was when he literally went down to the sheriff's office and tried to have me arrested for something that was completely fucking false. That's where I drew the line and said, okay, this ain't working out. Fuck this dude. I'm taking my toys. I'm going home. I was doing a Cartman, dude. And sent a respectful message. And then you saw what happened hours after that. Anything else? Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We never expected any of the support that we got. We really appreciate it. Everybody that's supporting the channel, thank you so much. Didn't see in the cards us being content creators in 2026, but I can't say I'm mad at it. We spent so many years helping other people do creative things and get no credit, so at least now we can get some credit and have some fun and do some cool stuff. And we have a lot of stuff stacked, so stay tuned for that. May 11th, next episode, decent person. Yeah. Be kind to one another. Go out and do something nice for someone tomorrow. Anything else you want to say?
No. Thank you
All right.
guys.
All right. Thank y'all. We'll see you. And I forgot to turn this off.